You look like you need to go to the dentist. You need to look like you need to brush your teeth. You look like you need hygiene. You look like you need help. Tell your man 50 send you an ounce or something, yo.
So I knew I was okay. When he sold 11 million records, and he had deals with Jay-Z in them, but Jay-Z ain't gonna never. Dude, I always tell him all the time, Jay-Z ain't treat you like this.
Oh, he definitely like playing, you know, this nigga.
Jay-Z might not even say hard as him.
So we just had a, lit. Jay-Z will never take you to a party like this.
Don't complain, but he's got a good life, man.
Oh.
Jim Jones definitely chose the wrong fight this time, because Uncle Murda is not letting this slide at all. Jim tried to clown Tony Yayo after he said that 50 Cent takes way better care of his artists than Jay-Z ever did. What was supposed to be a joke quickly turned into a serious problem. Things escalated fast, and now the pressure is heavy. Uncle Murda, who's been connected to both ROC and G-Unit, stepped in and made it crystal clear who really holds weight in these streets.
Jay don't look
They'll look up a bleak like Fib look out for you.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I just want to clear that up. Hov don't have to.
And then he said he eat his home halal.
You know what I mean?
All right, okay.
I'm chewing halal on my own.
He eats on his own. I eat on my own too.
Right.
I go on my own tour. I just came off tour.
Right.
When have you seen Bleak on tour? On his own. Jay-Z is not a bad guy. Bleak is not a bad guy. I'm not saying. I'm saying to you that Jay-Z was all business with them niggas. When Buck up on his taxes, 50 a piece or more. When Prodigy bought a house and needed more money, 50 a piece or more. Prodigy are paying back. The thing with 50 is, it was business and we was friends. I don't feel like Bleak was Jay-Z friend.
He's saying 50 Cent has been standing on business with his day ones for decades. No switching sides, no funny business. Meanwhile, Jay-Z's loyalty is starting to look more like a short-term deal. Once your value drops, that ROC Nation love fades real fast, just like an invite that never comes. Some people call it cold, others call it facts. But one thing is obvious, Uncle Murda wasn't just talking to hear himself speak. There's real history behind those words. And that's exactly why the internet is split right now, and this didn't come out of nowhere. It all started when Tony Yayo made a comment during an interview that honestly sounded fair. If you've been paying attention to how both 50 Cent and Jay-Z actually move, Tony Yayo made it clear, as Jay-Z doesn't look out for his people the way 50 does.
Keep showing up next to down, but that's an indication to me he might have some feelings towards me. That is just everywhere I got an issue. He show up around me. So I mean, you know, I get music now, because music ain't usually my motivation. My morals come off the curb. So if you see a nigga keep being around nigga, well, fuck, when you come around, how your antennas go. So he in a position where he might feel like he did.
According to Yayo, 50 Cent has held him down way more than Jay-Z ever did for Memphis Bleak, and that's saying a lot. But let's keep it. Realio wasn't throwing shots at Jay-Z. He was simply speaking his truth. He said, when it comes to loyalty, nobody moves like 50 Cent. 50 doesn't just talk brotherhood, he proves it. He keeps his day ones on tour, plugs them into TV opportunities, keeps them involved in business moves, and even flies them out just to kick back. All he asks in return is loyalty. That's real boss energy. Then Jim Jones stepped in, and that's when things went left. During a conversation with Memphis Bleak, Jim started clowning Yayo, calling him down bad, saying he still leans on 50 Cent to stay afloat. He tried to frame it as dependence instead of loyalty, and that only threw gasoline on the fire. Tensions shot up fast, and the internet lit up everywhere, almost instantly.
You know, me from the hood, so people look at Bleak and don't understand the business he's doing. They always look at Jay like, oh
Yeah. That's why. That's why you got like Yayo talking about, Jay don't take care of it. I don't need Jay to go on tour.
Real smoke hard coke, yo.
Yo, chill.
You look like you need to be taken care of, nigga. You look like you need to go to the dentist. You need to look like you need to brush your teeth. You look like you need hygiene. You look like you need help. Tell your man 50 send you an ounce or something, yo.
You do need
you
that
might
help.
need
That's
2
why,
ounces.
That's why
Paid
you
in full move. I got a G for every bump in your face. I promise you that.
I
promise you that.
Why you worried about
Peon, you broke. You know.
The internet went crazy after that, because Jim Jones wasn't holding back at all. But that's exactly when Uncle Murda stepped in and checked Jim real quick. Murda fired back with a cold line that stopped everything in its tracks, saying Jay-Z has business partners, but 50 has brothers and that one cut deep.
Instagram comments, because these people are made to break you. They want to break artists. They want to break you. Nobody believe you. I was in 50 crib, no roaches and all that, me in a little spot, small spot. Nobody believed in that. He playing Get Rich or Die Trying already in the crib. He had asked that done. Like, all right. Once this go off, because I'm like, everybody get confused. Because they don't think that your dream is gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta, you know what I mean? That's why I respect him. Because we had more of an assist. We had 50 Cent. So I knew I was okay. He sold 11 million records. Even motherfucker, he had deals with Jay-Z and them, but Jay-Z ain't gonna never. Dude, I always tell him all the time, Jay-Z ain't treat me like this.
Oh, he definitely like playing. You know, this.
Jay-Z might not even say hard as though.
So we just, the party we was just at in Miami with the Kardashians, Serena Williams, and everybody. We just finished performing. Great time, right? First thing my man here want to say, yeah, lit. Jay-Z will never take you to a party like this.
You might get invited.
Nah, I don't get invited.
I respect
it.
That line really shook people up. The message was clear. Jay keeps people close when the money makes sense. But 50 keeps his circle tight off love and loyalty. That one sentence flipped the entire conversation. And suddenly the internet started leaning heavy toward 50 Cent. Loyalty is everything. And 50 keeps people around because they've been solid since day one. No shortcuts. In a recent interview with Uncle Murda and Tony Yayo, both made it clear that Jay-Z never looked out for Murda the way 50 did. According to Yayo, that's because 50 never forgot who stood with him when he had nothing. Those same people stayed down through the struggle, and 50 has been rewarding that loyalty ever since. That's why his circle has stayed tight for decades. No fake energy allowed. But here's the twist. The internet is completely split. Some people are saying Jim Jones is right and that Tony Yayo is just riding 50's success. Others are jumping in to defend Jay-Z hard, arguing that just because Jay doesn't show generosity on social media like 50 does, doesn't mean he isn't taking care of people behind the scenes.
He was just like tight with his money. Eminem, tight with his money. So you learn to kind of save instead of spending. 50 encourages you. You get money, go get a house. That's like Uncle Murda. He's down with us now. He was signed to Jay-Z. He got his first house being down with us.
Right.
He gave me my first Jacob watch, and 50 said, yo, don't forget, blow your head off for that. See, 50 he was ahead of his time. That's what people...
Online, a lot of people were more annoyed that Jim Jones even jumped into the conversation in the first place. Fans felt it had nothing to do with him, and they made that clear real quick. One comment said, Jim Jones running his mouth the same way he ran when someone put hands on him. Another wrote, we all know Jimmy reaching just to stay relevant. Someone else added, Jim Jones said he's better than Nas. Enough said. The internet showed no mercy with those takes. But let's circle back to what Uncle Murda really meant when he said, Jay got business partners, but 50 got brothers. That wasn't just slick talk at all.
Relationship like with Jay-Z, who were you to him?
Well, basically, I was his right-hand man. You know what I mean? Beyond that, we was brothers. For him not to even give me time, even to act like he didn't know me, you know what I'm saying? For all that I sacrificed, all that my people sacrificed, all that my family sacrificed. I never knew that it'd get to this. Even label me with some statements or some snitching statements. I think that's about the utmost disrespect.
It is.
That line carried real weight, history, and meaning, and it hit different for a reason. It came straight from lived experience. Murda's time at ROC was short, and that alone speaks volumes. He saw up close how 50 moves behind closed doors, no fake loyalty, no empty promises, just real action. 50 stays solid with the people who've been solid with him, always making sure his crew eats right alongside him. That's loyalty money can't buy. And Murda is living proof of it. Same goes for Tony Yayo. He's been rocking with 50 since the early G-Unit mixtape days. And decades later, that bond is still unbreakable. Even now, 50 makes sure Yayo stays booked on international tours and keeps his name in the spotlight. But according to Yayo, it's not about private jets, luxury hotels, or flashing money. It's about growth. 50 teaches his people how to move smart, manage their money, and build real wealth that lasts. That kind of mentorship is rare in this game. Murda even revealed. He bought his first house after signing with 50, and that changed his life. Once he linked up with G-Unit, 50 didn't just hand out chances, he created real opportunities. He kept Murda active in music, business plays, and public support. That's really the message right there. Loyalty builds legacy. 50 Cent doesn't treat his people like temporary coworkers. He treats them like family who came up from the grind with him. He moves off loyalty, not convenience. And that's what separates him from everyone else. Now compare that to Jay-Z's circle, because that's a completely different story. Jay moves like a corporation. You're around when it benefits both sides, but once the business slows, the connection fades just as fast. The track record speaks for itself. Dame Dash, Kanye West, Beanie Sigel, Jay cut ties and kept it moving. And it didn't stop there. Even the person who helped Jay get his first real break felt that cold shoulder. Jezza was mentoring Jay before the world even knew his name, helping him find his sound and his lane. But once Jay blew up, the energy shifted, and Jazz was left behind. That spoke volumes. Same thing with DeHaven, one of Jay's oldest friends from Marcy, who put in real work early on. Once Jay fully stepped into that corporate lane, it was like DeHaven stopped existing. Things got ugly fast. DeHaven went public, saying Jay lied on him, labeled him a snitch, and completely turned his back. That's cold. When someone asked DeHaven about his relationship with Jay-Z, you could hear the pain in his voice. To him, it was never just business, it was brotherhood. So when Uncle Murda said, Jay got business partners, but 50 got brothers, he wasn't just throwing shade. He was speaking from what he saw with his own eyes. Jay moves like a CEO, and that means cutting people off the moment they stop serving the brand. It's not personal, it's business. But that mindset leaves a trail of people who once had his back feeling iced out and forgotten. That's why people rarely call Jay loyal. They call him smart, strategic, business-minded, and all of that can be true. But loyalty, that word doesn't come up much around him. With 50 Cent, it's the complete opposite. His loyalty runs deep back to the come-up days. The same people who stood with him early are still right there, and the only ones missing are the ones who switched up. Simply put, 50 moves with loyalty first, while Jay moves with strategy first. And that contrast is exactly why this debate isn't dying down anytime soon. This isn't just about music anymore. It's about values, about what loyalty really means when money, power, and fame get involved. Some fans say Jay-Z played the game exactly how it's meant to be played, cold but effective. Others say that mindset costs you real relationships, and once those are gone, there's no buying them back. With 50, the pattern has always been different. He doesn't erase people from the story just because the chapter changes. If you were there during the grind, you're still part of the picture now. That's why his circle looks the same years later, just with bigger wins and louder success. No revolving door, no constant replacements. And that's why Uncle Murda's words hit so hard. This wasn't about dissing Jay or hyping 50 for no reason. It was about highlighting two completely different ways to move at the top. One runs like a boardroom, the other runs like a family meeting. Both can win, but only one builds bonds that actually lasts. That's why this conversation struck a nerve online. People see themselves in it. Loyalty versus leverage. Brotherhood versus business. And depending on how you move in life, you already know which side you're on. If you're rocking with this breakdown and want more, real talk on hip-hop's biggest feuds and power moves, make sure you subscribe to Drip C, smash that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, share this video, and hit the hype button to help it grow. Appreciate every one of you for tapping in.